Have you ever wondered how clothing brands are able to achieve that ghost floating image on their e-commerce sites for all of their clothing? In this video, I'm going to show you 7 different tips to make sure that you get the exact same professional look. I'm also going to be going through all of the gear that I'm using here in my home studio so that you can do the exact same thing. By the end of this video, you're going to be able to get images that look like this and like this, so that you can take these images and turn them into something that looks like this. It's gonna be cool. Let's get into it. Tip number 1, choose the right mannequin. Mannequins come in all different shapes and sizes, ranging all the way from child to youth, all the way to adult, and ranging in completely different body types and sizes. Ideally, the mannequin should have removable neck pieces so that you can sell the whole ghost floating image. You can do this without the removable neck pieces, but it takes more creative compositing in post-processing. By the way, I did leave links to everything that I'm using here in my home studio. If you have any questions about those items, don't hesitate to leave the question down in the comments. Tip number 2, lighting is key. I always like to operate with a 3-point light setup. In this situation, I have one key light here that has a large dome on it. I also have one with a large lantern, and my third light is going to be used to light the backdrop to give it some separation. Having 3 lights is always where I start off with, because if I don't need one light, I can remove one or add the third one if needed. 3 is always going to be the sweet spot for my own workflow. As you're setting up your lights, make sure that you play around with the direction of the light and the positioning of the light. In addition to that, you want to also be able to manipulate the intensity of all of the lights until you can dial in that perfect look. Tip number 3, prepping the clothing. Make sure the clothing is properly prepped. That means ironing and using a lint roller. Go a little crazy on this part because it's going to save you so much time in post. Smooth out any wrinkle or creases and ensure the garment hangs naturally to show off its shape. One pro tip that I can give you for this step is that if you're working with a brand that has some sort of screen printing design on the front or anywhere on the garment, make sure that you flip that garment inside out when you're ironing it so that you don't accidentally touch the hot iron to the design and ruin the graphic. That would be bad. Tip number 4, camera gear and settings. In this shoot, I'm going to be using my trusty Canon R5 simply because it has the highest megapixel count, and I'm going to be pairing it with my favorite RF 28-70 f2 lens from Canon. When it comes to settings, I'm going to make sure that my ISO is as low as possible to get super sharp images. And in addition to that, I usually shoot at a very low f-stop number like F2.8 or F2. But for photography like this, I really want to be near F8 or F11. Make sure that you use a tripod so that you can lock off the camera and make sure that there are no shakes and you get consistent framing for the entirety of the project. Tip number 5, make sure to take multiple shots of each piece of the collection. For this shoot, I'm going to be taking 3 shots, one of the front, one of the back, and then one facing at a 45-degree angle to see if there's any details. Pro tip, if you happen to have a second camera, use the second camera to capture any details in the garment, such as zippers, buttons, or any kind of unique stitching that the garments may have. The second camera is absolutely optional. I just like to use the second one because I like to keep my A cam locked off and not moved for the entirety of the project, just so that I can keep consistent framing throughout the entire project. So you did all of the hard work. You prepped the product, you set up the camera gear, you checked all the lighting, and you took all the shots. Now it's time to take it into the editing room. I like to use Adobe Photoshop, but feel free to use any software that you prefer, as long as it can remove and cut out the background with very, very clean edges. It should be fine. I've chosen Adobe Photoshop just because it's my favorite one to use, but feel free to let me know down in the comments if you have found any other alternative editing software. Particularly, I'd like to know if you have found any really good ones that are free or low cost. Tip number 7, get creative. If you did all of the 6 things mentioned above, chances are that you ended up with really awesome raw files. These raw files are super valuable to your client and are incredibly versatile. Play around with these raw files, add different backgrounds, change out the colors, add different scenes, and just go wild on this. As long as you keep the raw files' integrity, you'll be able to manipulate these photos for a long time to come. If you like this video and still need a little bit more help with product photography, or you're just unsure how to get started with all of this, you're gonna definitely wanna check out this video right here. Adios.